Alright guys, this is David here again on the Reloading channel. And here we go. 3-inch Tridite hole, 16mm brass. Got a new translucent white lightning wad. Already trimmed it down. What I do, I take a already trimmed, pre-trimmed from the factory wad here. This one's a precision reloading wad. And I'll take the wad, it's a lot taller, comes for a 3.5. But anyway, I put it beside that one, trim it about the same height. And then I trim the corners off. I do a little extra stuff sometimes than most reloaders do. But I kind of trim the corners off to give it a beveled corner. See how it's beveled? Like some of the older wads. Kind of cut the corners off. I think when it comes out the shell, it reduces a little bit of friction, you know. And especially if you're shooting ported chucks, it doesn't, you know, them sharp edges don't have as much resistance on ported chokes, you know, the extended ported chokes. But anyway, as on my video before that I just uploaded a while ago, even though I'm going to fold crimp this, I'm still going to trim it down just a little bit. I mean, just a little bit, not even a 1/16 of an inch. And all right, I got it trimmed down. I go around it with my thumbnail like that and go around. But in these full-length wads for buckshot and what we're doing and the payloads we're sending, a lot of the guys, you know, you got to have some cushion in the bottom of it so you don't blow the seal out. A lot of the guys are using felt and stuff like that, and a lot of them using 1/8" cushion in the bottom of the shot cup. I'm using a 1/4" cork wad. I'm finding it takes up a little more space, and I drop back a couple pellets, so I'm getting better velocities, and it's more of a cushion when you're shooting and the round just shoots a lot better in the guns, and it won't wear your gun out as fast as if you use an 1/8", and I got a bunch of 1/8" 20 gauge felt and fiber cushion that I can put in there, but I'm using a 1/4" cork 20 gauge cork wad to use in the bottom of the shot cup. And I go ahead and load it in the shot cup before I ever put it in the hole. And I'm gonna go with 28 grains of long shot. It calls for 28.5, but I'm just going 28. That's plenty. We're dropping down 2 pellets. That'll be plenty. And this says 28.4. $28 on the money. All right, I'm using a dryer sheet to take care of the static electricity. It cuts down on powder migration going by the gas seal or the power piston on my plastic wad. So all you got to do right there, it all drops down to the bottom, none sticking to the walls of the hole at all. None. And this is TPS White Lightning wad from Ballistic Products, in the hose from Ballistic Products. And I'm using 28 grains of Hodgdon long shot powder. Got my wad tamped down. This time I'm using nickel plated 31 cal. I'm gonna do 14 pellets because I'm using a 1/4 inch of cushion in the bottom of my shot cup. I could do 16, but I want to try to get a little bit higher velocity and I'm dropping down on my payload weight when I do that. I don't like how that's done. See, I want my pellet stacking by 2s with this 31 cal in this wad. And I'm sorry about that fish tank back there. I got outvoted on having that fish tank in this room, but you can hear that fish tank in the background. Sorry about that, folks. I just get outvoted around here sometimes. You want to make sure they're sitting in there just right. BP Original Buffer from Ballistic Products. You don't quite cover the pellets. You want to make sure you're leaving plenty of room for your crimp, so your crimp doesn't pop back up on you. Because we're fold crimping this one. And it's lined up pretty good. And from Precision Reloading, I get these little thin, they're felt. They're not a thin cardboard or anything like that. It's just a little thin felt overshot. I wouldn't even call it a card. It's like a felt cover. It's not stiff at all, but it keeps your buffer in case it wants to leak by your crimp sometimes, especially with that little hole in the center you get sometimes. But that felt keeps it in there. And look, let me adjust this thing here. I just done this a few minutes ago. You got a spring that goes in here in this brass crimp starter from Ballistic Products. They make a brass crimp starter for new hulls. And I load a lot of new hulls. And they call it a Super Crown crimp starter from Ballistic Products. But they had a spring that goes in the middle. Didn't like the spring. Tried it with washers. Didn't like that. And this is just me personally. I do things different sometimes than other reloaders. But I got a bunch of O-ring kits for working on hydraulic cylinders and hydraulic hoses. Well, I got a fat O-ring that's about the same circumference, same diameter as this Super Crown crimp starter. And I just lightly snugged it up in there. I can still turn it. It'll still turn, but it's a little snug. And you can loosen it up so it'll turn by itself, or you can snug it up just a little bit where it won't turn unless you want it to. I just found that to be so cool. And what I do, I line that line the teeth up the way I want them in the valley of the crimp starter, pre-crimp, with the shock, because I don't want it to come down directly on top of the shock. That helps a lot with your crimps, I've found anyway. And I don't have this adjusted to go down as far as I should, really, to keep from bulging out anything, bulging out my pellets. And you got to keep your diameter where it'll go in, it'll drop right in the battery or the chamber of your shotgun. And see how it'll rise up a little bit? That's because I don't have it where it'll go down on the shell hard. And I take care of that. With this Italian crimp finisher from Gate Reloading Products. And I go with my sizing ring, lead load all, or Mech makes them too. Not for this machine, but check out that crimp. It's a little bit over crimp, turned out this time, but it's actually a pretty darn good crimp. That's all there is to it, guys. I'll put a little fingernail polish on it to waterproof up the center of the crimp. But that's all there is to it. And I keep a double barrel shotgun around. I'll show you. Keep my double barrel shotgun around to make sure all my rounds, every last one of them, will drop right in the barrel, free of any resistance. That way you know when your guys carry their auto loaders or the pump guns out hunting, the diameter of your shotgun rounds doesn't cause any feed or ejection issues. But that'll be a good hunting round right there with that single aught 31 cal. And I call, for future reference, I call 32 and 33 cal double aught, 31 caliber, and this is nickel plated, 14 pellets, 1/4 inch cork wad, TPS White Lightning wad, and Shadite hole, 3-inch hole. And that crimp finisher makes your into your shell more round, and it's concave a little bit, so it feeds better in autos and pumps. It'll feed, it'll ramp right in there and go right in the battery a lot better. And it helps keep the crimps down, because if you store these like in a hot vehicle, sometimes these crimps, and I've seen them do it on factory hulls, the crimps will open up, especially if you store them in a hot vehicle where it's getting like 120 degrees in there or something. And that helps keep them crimps down like they should. And works out well for me. And it looks better. Actually looks better than the factory crimp a lot of times. And I've tested out some of these loads and with 28 grains or 28.5, when some drop back to 27. You know, you get the higher you get in velocity, the more your patterns open up. And some powders help do better at patterning, and the wads, this TPS White Lightning wad they say is supposed to be the best, and I made some up a while back and test fired some, and man, they keep a tight pattern. So yeah, we're having fun with that. I've been loading the SDS wads that are similar to the White Lightning wads. Been doing real good. Roger Atkins and Wade Rush and all those guys are doing it too. And precision reloading, Wade calls it the red wad, I call it the orange wad. And yeah, that's another CSD. And I've been messing with the, let's see here, I just got these in, the CB 1138s. They do good with your 33 and 34 cal and stuff like that. The bigger buckshot, triple aught, double aught and all. And been messing with the MG42s. Got some of them down here. I like that wad for the smaller shot, 32 cal and down sizes. Anything 32 cal and down, MG42. I like that wad. It ain't the tightest pattern wad out there, but it's a pretty darn tight pattern. And CSD also makes the CSD 100 wad. It's a Cushing Power Piston 100 wad. You can use that in 2-inch, 2 3/4, and 3-inch holes. I've tried it in both, but it's real good. CSD 100 wad from Ballistic Products. It's pretty similar to the 114, only it's got a Cushing Power Piston. It's not a full length wad. It's got that O-ring cushion underneath it. And I've done 33 cal if you're careful loading in that. Does real good with the 32 cal and on down. And with my smaller pellets, I've been doing some of the old Federal wads. And I've been trying a lot of different wads. I got so many wads it ain't even funny. But yeah. And I've been doing some Winchester once fired holes, and I see on a lot of forums the guys just stay away from them, don't want to mess with them. But I've been having pretty good luck with them. I had pretty good luck with them at the range the other day. And I didn't take any range videos lately, but I'm gonna start taking some. And we're doing all right. Y'all guys have a good one, and I'll see y'all on the next one.